Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the delay. The mail department got a little bit confused and my SketchBox sat in a warehouse for about 2 weeks. So it is here now, and I'm sure a lot of you have already seen what's in the box, but if you haven't, feel free to stay with me and check it out. And here is a lovely recreation with, I believe it's Girl in the Pearl earring on the box. And here is the artist who recreated it. Let's open it up and see what it is. Side note, if you're interested, I'm participating in Inktober. You can check out my artwork on my Instagram account at Lyon art. Awesome. Okay, so let's see what we got in this box. Here we have a premium ink box, which is perfect for Inktober, a challenge in which it asks artists for 30 days to do challenges with ink products. That could be your micron pens, it could be your brush pens, it could be liquid ink, it could be solid ink, and I believe it's even going now more into a digital medium as long as it has an ink type feel. So here we are, and here are the items in which the box contains. Looks like some nice stuff. I see a lot of Karetake, which we've had previously. We got another Speedball. And it looks like we got another cotton pad paper, some watercolor paper for the ink. Okay, let's pull this out. Real quick, here is the art for the box. And here is the artist information. First up, we have a Faber-Castell 9000 2H pencil. Okay, here we go. Now let's see if I can... Gold text, I can't even read it, and I'm sitting right here. It's a water-based varnish Wasterlock. Oh, this is the Wasterlock pencil. Maybe this is the Faber-Castell? On the picture, it looks like this is probably the right pen. It looks like it's a subcategory made in Germany, and then the website here, if you can even read it, is for Faber-Castell. So the point is already on it. On the paper, it's your typical 2H, nice and hard. Looks like it's going to hold up the point for a long time, so you can do a lot of sketching. If you want, you can still get some gradient to it by using the side of the lead. And it has a very smooth transition. Overall, great sketch pencil. No worries here. Let's move on to the next one. We have the Karetake Bimoji Fude brush pen, which even has the traditional sort of look of the old wood pens, though I don't know why we have a blue cap. That's entertaining. So it even has a thing so you can hang it right here. Let's see how the brush tip looks. Oh, it looks like the brush is actually blue. So blue cap makes a lot of sense now. It says this unique twist on a classic brush, this navy pen, can offer a lot of versatility in the lines it creates. So let's see how this goes. So usually with brushes, it allows you to do good flick motions where you're dark and you can go into the light, or you can just apply steady pressure the entire time. It doesn't go to as much of a fine point as some of the other pens that we've had, but it does look like we can layer this guy. Oh, that's really nice. I really like the fact that we can have a layer. Let me see if I can zoom in for a second here. Here you can see that we have this lighter line for the first stroke, then we went over it again. So we have 3 different tones from this one brush. It's very juicy. The brush is multiple bristles, so it's flays out as you'd paint. So you can get a thin, or apply more pressure, you can get a thicker stroke. Once again, it comes to, I would say, about a 0.03 brush type if you're thinking in the microns. But it's a beautiful color, and I think it comes out gorgeously. Okay. Let's move on to the next one, which is another Karetake brush. This one is the Futaho Kabura number 30, and I took the cap off. So here is the brush. It's a decent length, as you can tell. Here's our brush tip. And what it says about this is that the dual-tipped black brush pen contains the traditional brush tip on one side, as we're looking at it, and a fine liner on the other. It's a very fine line. Okay, let's see how both of these sides go. So we'll start with the flicks again. Because when I get a brush pen, and I'm starting to think of sort of the traditional Asian art style, is that you always have these flicks, like to make bamboo leaves, to do like, just, it gives such a great feel of motion and not strict. Okay, for a single line. Once again, it has a multiple. Ooh, that is nice and dark. It goes to a little bit more fine of a point, let's say about a 0.1. And once again, like the other one, it looks like it has a really nice variant to it. I'm not sure how, maybe it was the pressure that I was applying at the beginning of the stroke, but I got a much lighter tone with my original brush stroke and much darker by the time we got to the end. And when we went back over it, it still came back through dark. So it could be just a fluke. Nope, it looks like the longer that the brush has contact with the paper, the darker the line gets. So if you let it rest and you start again, you'll start with a lighter tone and you'll go back to your dark tone. This is gonna be really fun to like do feathers. It has a much finer line. I would actually say this probably might go down to an 0.05. It has very good control. And once again, it can be very dark. And the more consistently that you're using it, it looks like it'll stay the same darkness. It's a very nice brush pen. We have gotten multiple brush pens from SketchBox before, but this one I think so far has gained my my affection the most. Okay, on next we have the Sennelier Indian ink. Indian ink is fantastic. I usually use Magic Black by Higgins, so I'm really interested to see how this guy compares to it. Right? Yeah, there we go, Indian ink. This had using this 30 milliliter bottle of rich black ink to fill in flat areas with a brush or dilute it with water to create varied values. Okay. Let's see how this guy works. We'll also, at this moment, jump ahead and pull out the brush. Oh, it's a Princeton. I love Princeton brushes. So here's a Princeton in an angular. Which nice about an angular is that you're able to, there we go. Focus, camera. So you have the wideness of the brush, but by using the edge of the brush, you can have a nice controlled line. And the Princetons, I've never had an issue with the Princeton, so I'm really excited to get a new one of this. So let's pop this guy open already. Right off the bat, you can see that's super dark in there. I'm just gonna dib right from the well. We're gonna pull the pen paper down. So right off the bat, you can see on these bristles, that's a very dark ink. The bristles are holding the ink well. It's not falling out. And we're gonna start with the wide stroke. The brush holds a nice amount of ink. The ink comes out nice and dark. You'll see that this area over here has gotten lighter again where I was darker before because I went back in and before it fully settled, I had moved it. So I just have to go back in a little bit more and lay it back down. But that is a nice thick blackness. I'm going to just add a little bit of water to my brush and go back in. So here it is with a little bit of dilution by adding water to my brush. So it's going to give us a nice variety for us to play with. We can either put this onto a palette or we can put this directly onto add water to our brush and dig into the inkwell, but I would refrain from doing that because you don't want to dilute your original source. And now our paintbrush will be forever blackened until I do a full brush clean later. For those who don't, remember, clean your brushes. A little bit of warm water, a little bit of just like tiny dash of dish soap, and just bristle and let them hang dry. Let's see what our next thing is. Our next thing is, fantastic. For anyone who is working in ink, I highly recommend this brand. This is GellyRoll. They are one of the best gel pens that I have ever come across. I use them all the time in my work. Here is mine, so I use it quite often. I have one that's also in 0.5 somewhere. I have tried multiple other varieties of gel pens, but this one is by far the best. So just make sure that we are working. And you can see that it has a very strong appearance. Usually has a strong appearance. Mine seems to be a little bit milky right now. But as you see, it goes over the black very well. This one's coming up with a bit of a blue in it. I wonder if that's because of the ink over it. Let's go up here. There we go. It allows you to go in, do your details more, make a highlight, make a little bit of a dimple or a pin light in an eye. It really makes the character. You don't need to use a whole lot of this in your picture, so one of these is going to last you for a while. Unless you're doing like 24-inch canvases with massive outlines. Okay, and then our last thing in the box is our custom Arnhem cotton paper pad. This thick and absorbent. This paper allows for crisp ink lines, texture effects. So I would say that this is a warm press because we don't have the grip that we usually have on more of the cotton type papers. It has a decent thickness to it. And it's just overall, it seems like it's going to be a nice little piece. And a 4x6, it's always good. It's got 12 pages in it. It should be a very good piece. So for fittingly, Inktober opened, oh, I missed one. Sorry, jumping over the brush, I skipped this one, the Calligraphy Ink. We have gotten Speedball before in multiple colors, pretty much the primary color, so you can mix it. So here we have, and I'm sorry, my camera has not been focusing today, or I've not been focusing, one of the two. So here we have a detailed Calligraphy Ink in the copper. It says, we worked with Speedball to develop this metallic ink, which offers a rich accent to the other inks in this month's box, which, looking at the color palette that we have, this is clearly going to stand out. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to grab a different brush for right now, a different Princeton I had picked up. So here I'm just going to use that guy. Could just do a little bit of water to get the brush started. I could already tell that there's a metallic sheen in here, and I think you could see that on the camera as I just stir it. So probably one that you're going to want to shake before you start using. Get it all loaded on the brush. We're going to go off the page first. So yeah, it has a very nice feel. It has a metallic sheen. I don't know if you can tell at this point. And let's see how we can do it over the black. It doesn't dominate too much over the black here if I even just load up the brush. It sort of seems to fade. It doesn't jump out over here. On the blue, it stands out a bit more. But it's not as strong as if you just came in here and did it by itself. And if curious, if we do it over the white, the milky pen, it's fine. It looks like if you wanted to show it up on the black, you just need to make sure that you have a good amount on your brush when you're running. Yeah, that's it. You just need, you can't be working at the ends of your brushes. You gotta re-dip each time. But even so, as it's drying, it looks like the second pass is dimming a bit. But and it's takes a little while to dry, as I get it everywhere else. It has a very smooth texture, just like most of the Speedball calligraphy inks. It'll probably go well using a pen, using a brush, maybe even using a sponge at the end. That'll be an interesting texture to create sort of an antiquing. Okay, so we're coming up on 15 minutes, so let's do a little wrap up. So in this box, we got the Faber-Castell 9000 H2 pencil. We got the Karetake Bimoji Fude brush pen in navy blue. We have the Karetake Futaho Kabura number 30 with the double nibs, the fine liner, and the brush. We have the Sennelier ink. We have the Speedball copper. We got the Princeton brush angular. We got the GellyRoll in 08. And then we've got the custom cotton pad. So if you guys are doing Inktober, let me know in the link below. I'll check out your stuff, check out my stuff, and I hope that you guys enjoy this box and have a great day.